Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, and this past weekend I built my very own Halloween event with randomly generated prizes. Just let that sink in for a second. That's freaking cool, right? At least I think it is. So, a little insider information for you. The day of the event, I sent out a message to a bunch of people from my play group that said, I will be hosting a Halloween event later tonight. Prizes will include last year's Halloween event items. If Bethesda won't do Halloween right, then I will. LOL. So, it was a crazy undertaking to go, well, I want to build an event. And I started building, but I didn't start at the beginning. I didn't start at the end. I started my structure somewhere in the middle, and it just spread from there. I completely maxed a workshop's budget towards this one goal of hosting an event. Not only that, I maxed out that budget, and then I had to go take a separate workshop just to be able to put the finishing touches on it. And wow, it was pretty entertaining. So the easiest way I could figure to have a little event for everybody was escape rooms. I really love going to a camp that is an escape room. It's like a trap camp, except there's a way out. So it's a little bit of a challenge. I absolutely love coming across escape rooms. They are really rare, and I don't know why. They're a lot of fun. So they make it into this first section, and they got to find the 4 digits to be able to open the door to proceed into the next area. Now, the problem I ran into while building this was I pretty much went with, well, what's going to be my layout? And I just pretty much exploded into a massive build area. And by that point, I'd already ate up, I'd say 90% of my budget on just the structure. And I went, oh crap, I'm going to have to decorate this. How am I going to make what tiny bit of budget I have left work for decorating it? And I feel like I did a decent job. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more in it, but then again, I'm always going to be my biggest critic. But there's lots of cool stuff going on. You also get to see, well, you may notice some merged items here or there. I do want to say just real quick, I realize that the screen and everything, it's fairly dark. I mean, it was a Halloween event. It's supposed to be a little bit creepier. So, this is a little harder to see. But I do have a separate recording where I went through during the daylight so I could really take in all the little things that I did. Mostly because it's a workshop, and as soon as I left, everybody left the server, it's just gone. It was such a sad moment when I hopped out of the server, knowing it was gone for good. But it's alright. It lives on in the video. Also, out of curiosity, if any of you want to know how to kind of build your own event and do like the randomly generated prizes, it is super simple to do random prizes. So if you want to know how to do that, just hop down in the comments and let me know, and I'll walk you through how to build it. I'll make you a video. It only takes one of you to ask me, and I'm going to end up doing it. Trust me. So, the build, pretty darn cool. I did think it was funny though, because I told everybody, alright, so you got to go find all the door codes so you can proceed through. And of course someone's got to be like, well, why don't I just hang out by the door and wait for someone else to open it and just run through? Well, that's a legitimate strategy. You go to any other event in the world, you're bound to eventually run into a player that just stands there in the event while everybody else does the work. I was like, that's actually more realistic at that point. I don't know. I will say, it was pretty darn crazy. And eventually, towards the end of the video, a couple more minutes, I'll actually show off the random prizes. Because I kind of told everybody when they were going through, I was like, you can either kind of work together towards figuring out the code and proceeding as a team. I was like, but only the first 3 people through are going to be guaranteed to receive one of last year's Halloween items. I was like, beyond that, you'll get prizes, but you're not going to get Halloween prizes. I gave away a Brotherhood Special Ops suit. I know I gave away, well, what was that? Burroughs signs or something like that. Well, something that person didn't have, I hooked them up. Because that's the kind of person I am. I don't want to give people duplicates. That's no fun. Now, I will say, if you want to build your own event, maybe think it through slightly better than I did. Do not let yourself build your way into a corner. Make sure there's some kind of thought going through of, well, maybe I should get a general layout of what's going to be necessary before you just go ahead and build it all and go, oh no. Well, I guess we can decorate it. Let's see what we can delete first. Also, Foshnok effigy? Nah, there's a jack-o'-lantern effigy now. See, Bethesda, I can reskin things too. I'm a professional. Kinda. Not really. So, another thing that I thought was kind of funny. Towards the end of this, when people finally managed to beat it, which I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, because the entire run of this, I think it took maybe, somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes, so roughly a proper event length. But yeah, we get down here, one person knows the code. He announced it to everybody that he figured it out. He took off running, and then, he just barely managed to to get through. So then it was just out of the cluster of the rest of them trying to get out who was going to be the first person out. So, pretty cool. Now we'll head over to a separate workshop, which is where a super basic random prize generator was built. Mostly I didn't have time to do anything super fancy because the build took me 8+ hours. And then I still had to build the random prize generator. It was getting pretty late by that point, and some people had to go to bed. Oh, and yes, that does say tacos with a question mark. I would have it no other way. Although I did have the thing kind of break the first time around, and all it wanted to do was tell people they won tacos. And that was a really awkward moment. So basically, if you land on tacos, since we don't have tacos in the game, despite me requesting them countless times, it just meant that you roll again. And if you're curious as to what Halloween event items I gave away that were from last year, I ended up giving away a couple of fireman uniforms. I gave away, I think it was a jack-o'-lantern plan. I'm not 100% certain which plan he took, mostly because I just dropped almost one of every Halloween plan that I had an extra of, and just let him pick which one he got. And I picked up the rest. So overall, it is actually a lot of fun. It is a ton of work though, and it's rough because when you build it, you can't let them hang out and help you. You have to do it all by yourself, or if anybody does help you, they're automatically disqualified from participating in the event. Either way, I had a lot of fun with it. If you want to know how I did any of this, just hop down in the comments, let me know. Again, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.